July 2023, the hot air balloon, anachronism number 4009. I posted to the Anachronisms blog. It starts with a quote, "And how thinking about one thing is the same as thinking about another." Elaine Kahn. Can I ever relate to that sentiment? Realizing my relatability to those words, though, and thinking about the phrase "everything is relative" has me wondering what that means about me. I'll refrain from offering any thoughts about what that might mean for the author who penned such a poignant pair of lines, which I suppose is me saying this about me, right? This is about me. What I'm saying, though, is that my thoughts tend to blend together all too often into a goulash in which everything is intertwined, so much so that it might be suggested that all of those become one driving thought or notion, one subject. That I'm only and consistently really concentrating on only one thing, but also that my focus can occasionally be less of a goulash and more of a drive insistent upon what could be honed down descriptively into a few short words, a line, maybe two. Also, while I try hard to be charitable or open-minded, I even feel like I generally read individuals, be they strangers or the best of friends, back when I had some with any consistency and proximity. Dale is short for chip on shoulder. I do have friends, but none at all in proximity. I mean, none that I've seen in years, despite my long past filled with camaraderie and of late my persistent efforts. Now, hush about that. I consider myself a person who gets a fairly good read on anyone in a short duration of time. But deep down, I know better, especially when my focus narrows and the goulash has, say, only one ingredient, is therefore not goulash. We all project ourselves onto others, right? How else might we even begin to understand a stranger? But in order to connect, in order to engage, and believe it or not, this is my primary goal, the single most important thing for which I live. Isn't it funny? But I kid you not. And yet, when that focus has narrowed for whatever reason, is this the great mystery of me? It's probably not in the least mysterious. Almost all I can see in almost everyone I encounter, whomever and wherever they happen to be, is me. Inevitably. When my brain turns back to an admixture, a mush, a goulash, so to speak, it's then that I see how narrow my vision, how incorrect the scope of my understanding, basically how idiotic my idea that I might really know who this person or that might truthfully be. And while I don't think that realization, that half-primitive reckoning, is good enough by any means, I do keep striving for better and try to remember that that realization is perhaps better than never seeing even that clearly, is at least knowing something about me, nonetheless, and not about anyone else. Meanwhile, all of the various whatnots and all the stuff and nonsense within this knotted up and hollowed out fixture that sits but wobbly atop my neck can go back to their most common and amalgamated state, like a tornado filled with planks and fence posts and cows from nearby farmyards, or like water that swirls as it is draining from a kitchen sink.